Hello, and welcome to the debut of my show, my dreaded show called Goth Ross. And I am Goth Ross, so thank you for joining me. I wanted to quickly introduce what is going to happen and how dreary it really can be to be a painter. Painting scary little paintings that are sad, full of terrible little clouds and bloody water. So, join me each and every week, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I just let out all my depression on the canvas and show you some tips and tricks that'll allow you to make the scariest little painting you've ever seen. A dreaded masterpiece of horror and sadness and despair. I've been wanting to do this for a while, I don't know why. But I have. Okay? So here we are. It's gonna happen. It's actually already happened. And I'm gonna explain to you right now why this is happening now. And this is our first show, so expect the quality to increase as we continue through each and every episode of all these scary masterpieces. But anyways, I'm going to also have a secondary view for you, the viewer, where you can see, and here you can see now. I have already done one, and it's got some bloody water. But the Aurora Borealis kind of sets it off from being too sad. And I don't know who put Games of the Week on there. What does that even mean? Let's fix that right now. We're going to fix it real time. Okay? We're going to do it for you, so it's not as sad to watch. Okay? So then what you can do is just scale it down. This is how you can make your own interface. You know, you can put it over here. It introduces me as the main character. There. How does that feel? Does that feel better for you? But anyways, Goth Ross came about. Hello. Thanks for joining on the debut. But Goth Ross came out, and I am drenched in sweat right now because I was trying to set this show up last minute, and it was not a good idea to do that when you have to use a whole new setup than the Bloodshed Death Bath production crew used in the past. So it's a little bit distracting that we have this going on back here, because they should turn off their video games if we're going to be playing with the canvas instead. But anyways, so I decided to enter a little painting / scary thing that I made. This is like a little preview of it for the Casa Bonita show here in town. I was like, whatever, I'm going to try to paint something, try to do something that could get in there. And it did. It got in the show, so then I was inspired to do more. I needed to do more. Because I was like, I got one in, so I can probably do another. And I started this series And I really found myself digging deep into that depression, as art generally does. Um, and I was able to put it out there in colors and using the brush strokes. And the brush strokes are just letting out some steam from the dance club the night before. And now I'm here to do it. And I was going to do one tonight. I had that planned, but I thought that it might be better to get some of your questions answered. Or not. Doesn't matter, I guess. Whatever you want. But I am Goth Ross. You now know who that person is. And I'm ready. I'm ready to paint it up for you. And hopefully next time I won't be so sweaty. But what kind of questions do you have for me, viewer? Some of you are watching this in the past. Some of you are watching this in the future. But anyways, let's look at the painting that would the first one that I was very excited about, and that was this one here. I want to show you some of the other paintings, so if you don't mind, what I can do now is I can go and try to climb over my apparatus and get one of the other ones. But if I do that, I'm probably going to unplug stuff. So instead of going and getting those others, I'm going to show you next time, so it'll give you something to look forward to. But what makes this painting different than the normal Bob version is obviously the colors and the blood. And, you know, it's a lonely mountain out there, glowing green at night, surrounded by a puddle of blood, bloody trees. So see, you can make your own scary, bloody piece of art and sell it for whatever you want. Sell it for $1 million if you want. It's up to you. It's your world. You can do anything you want in the dark world that we live in. You can do anything. There's dreary little clouds and dreary, scary little moistures. I like to use moistures rather than water, because moistures is a much nicer name for water. So anyways, that one was a very fun one to do. I don't know why I have these both going, but I guess I could still show you. See, this is another view. So when we're painting here, I also have all my paints laid out down below. That is not cool. I'm turning it off. Don't ruin my first show, TV. Come on, Bloodshed Deathbath, get with it. Aurora Bloody Alice? That's perfect, see? This is the kind of input I need before the show and the writing process. But what I wanted to do is show you that you can draw and paint anything you want, especially if it's scary. And that's generally all I ever do, is scary. Alright? So don't get all freaked out on it. Okay? But okay, so let me show you I'll show you the Casa Bonita painting in the full. Okay, there's other paintings. I have 3 other paintings that are just as dreary and terrible as the one I already showed you. And I promise you that I can teach you the techniques it takes to make these dreary things happen. Okay. So let's move this one. It's a little bit still wet, kind of. Takes forever to dry paintings, you know. So you set it down, and you bring up the other one. Now let's see, because this one was painted here as well. I don't think it's going to be able to get it all in one frame. That's the one problem with doing this stuff kind of like last minute. Oh, it did. So here was my Casa Bonita Dreary masterpiece. And what was nice about this is that everybody was very confused by what it was that I was painting and what I have painted. But when you can confuse your audience, they're more interested in looking at it for longer periods of time. And this one is just as goth and scary because it involves burning cities all over the place. So the project was, I needed to paint something that was in the future, 50 years. Where is Casa Bonita now in 50 years? And in 50 years, Casa Bonita no longer exists and is actually in Casa Bonita heaven with all the other Casa Bonitas. And them Casa Bonitas are trying their darndest to create weather that puts out the fires all over the world from the nuclear explosions. And I don't know if it's successful because we're only seeing the very first part of the process of that. But what was nice about this is it's utilizing a technique that I have been doing since 2000, where I do part of the art and then print it and then paste it on here onto the canvas and then add paint to go along with it. So I actually did a bunch of little ones. These are all cutouts and they're just on there. And the main reason for that is to give it a cool textural vibe and set it apart from other things. Back when I first did this, I was actually working with a woman here in town, and she put on shows for me. She always told me that she used to be friends with Warhol, but I don't know. I can't verify anybody's conversation, but I did a whole bunch of these different photos that were mixed with painting and sold them all over for dreary, sad prices. And it worked back then. It's harder to do it now because people don't want to buy anything. But I can tell you, if you paint something good and it stands out, that you're going to have a better chance of selling it, especially if it's at some goth show or goth night. So if you're trying to find a goth night in your city and you want to get to know everybody, the best thing to do is to draw or paint something scary and give it to them. And that's my suggestion. That's most goth suggestions. And we all want stuff for free. Okay? So if you want to be friends with the owner of a place, paint him a scary picture. Give it to him. Maybe you'll get a show there. You never know. Sort of bribery, but whatever. We're going to die anyways. But what's fun about this is that you can do anything you want in life. And that's the whole point. Because life doesn't last forever. Eventually, we all are going to die. But at least we can have some paintings that still make people sad later. And what do you want to be remembered for? sadness, gothiness. Do you have any questions for me? Next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. No matter if you're watching this live or you're watching a rerun on YouTube, let me tell you, you need to be there. You need to be there. We're going to have plenty of fun doing our first painting together. And it might take 2 hours. I don't know. How dark is my heart? Well, some people don't even have hearts. And that's me. So it's kind of hard to have any colored heart when it's not even there. Any other questions? I don't allow that kind of language on my streams. It's disgusting and repulsive. But I like it. The other thing I wanted to tell you, because you're not asking enough questions, is there's another show coming up. It's called Night Mutilator and Friends. Now, I know the Night Mutilator personally, and I think he's a wonderful man. He actually left his Mutilator club here by accident, but he doesn't live here. He lives within the club itself. So he comes out of there and rehydrates or whatever. You remember those old things you got at the store that were like little, like Monster, and then you put it in a jar, and like 2 weeks later, that's how the Night Mutilator comes out too. Except for he lives inside of his club. He's a little guy, and you put him in the water, he sprouts up, and you are able to enjoy his company. And that's great. But he's going to have his own show, Night Mutilator and Friends, which is definitely not going to be as sad as this one. But I'm trying to convince him to let me have a segment on the show. So we're going to see what we can do. If I can't get that, I'll definitely kill myself. But if not, I think I'll go ahead and be on that show too. Okay? Yeah, grow your own mutilator kit. Haven't you seen those? They're everywhere. I mean, have you been to Walmart lately? Everybody wants a mutilator. It doesn't matter if it's morning, noon, or night. I just happen to get the night one. And the night one only comes out at night. And he has high scores. Isn't that fun? So anyways, you guys have been quite a scene-ster tonight. And thank you for joining me for my debut. This is my announcement. It's going to happen. We're going to be doing, once again, let me show you, just to end the whole process for tonight. We're going to do paintings that are beyond a happy mood. Way beyond a happy mood. That look similar. Let me see if I can do this. To this. And it's going to be something that's going to really make your blood boil watching this process. Your blood's going to boil. You're going to have convulsions and diarrhea. But it's going to be fun. And I'm glad that you're going to be there. And it's out there now. Everybody knows. Everybody knows now that Goth Ross is back from the dead, ready to entertain and paint like there's nobody's business. And it's going to be pretty sad because a lot of this kind of thing is sad. It is sad. You know, because you will have mistakes and they're going to be sad. They're going to be sad little mistakes. And everybody deserves a sad little mistake every now and then. But anyways, thank you once again. We're going to finish it out with my name, as always. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for being scary with me. You can be scary next.